In today's video, we're going to be making some very cursed art. What does that mean? Well, you're just gonna have to wait and see. Something I've been wanting to do for a very long time is mixing paint with my sewing obsession. I really love mixing, well, mixed media, I guess. So one of the first ideas I have, and I've had for a while, is that I want to create a face that is very cursed. Well, I mean, it looks uncomfortable, but then we're also going to add some details to it that just make it look a little more uncomfortable. So the first one I want to do is just a face. Another one I was thinking about doing was maybe a horse or just a creature or something that has a lot of hair. And then we could just have its wonderful locks of hair. Oh, okay, this is where the cursedness comes in. Look how great of a drawing of a horse this is, isn't it? Isn't it just lovely? And I was also thinking about doing a person or something like that. I'm not really sure what to do. I was either thinking a bust of a person, so we have their shoulders and their head. That might be a lot of thread, so I don't know what this pose is. Sometimes you just gotta draw a person floating there. Maybe we could make it cuter by putting like a frame of flowers or a vine or something around it. I don't know. All right, so once I have the base of all of my paintings, I want to go in, like I said, with embroidery and add some details that maybe leave the frame or just add some texture or just effects that I can't do with paint. So with this character, the main one that I really want to do is that I just really want, now red was probably the worst choice of a pen to use, but I really want just long eyelashes, flowing in the wind so that maybe I can hang this on my wall and when I walk by, they flow a little bit, they move. I will probably embroider some shorter ones on the top, though would it be funny if they were hanging in front of the eyes? That actually probably would be funny. Stray chin hairs, a mole, I don't know. Maybe some hairier eyebrow hairs. Can't wait to be cursed by that one. I think the horse will probably be pretty similar and straightforward. I just want to give the horse a lot of hair and just make it look elegant and beautiful and cute. Maybe even some grass, maybe more flowers in the grass. Who knows? And for our character over here, I just want to give our character hair. So maybe some bangs. And I was thinking of making this character naked, of course, and maybe the embroidered hair could actually censor the character, and then to make it go off the page, I guess I could somehow make it fluidly just hang down. Yeah, so I think probably the most and only cursed one is going to be the face, which I'm very excited about, but I'm really excited to see what my painted style is going to look like combined with details of embroidery. Before we jump into getting cursed, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video. That's right, Skillshare. This online learning community is full of thousands of classes taught by creative people like me and you, from sewing, painting, illustration, baking, seriously, anything. Today I wanted to combine both painting with sewing and found this really interesting class by Peggy Dean where she embroiders on top of photos. This is an especially useful guide for beginners as she goes over materials, techniques, and all of the basics you need to start embroidering. I just love how creative this idea is of embroidering on top of photos, and I want to do this one day. Getting access to thousands of these creative classes with a premium membership is less than $10 a month, and the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare premium membership, so you can get started on exploring your own creativity. So with the new knowledge I have of that class, let's make some cursed art. Starting off with, of course, the most anticipated cursed piece of art, we have our face. I will admit the color of the skin tone for this face it's a little orange. I still don't have a lot of practice mixing thicker paints. I'm really good with watercolor, but things like gouache and acrylic, I still need a lot of practice. So I get really worried about wasting paint. I keep adding this color, then I need to add more of that color. Next thing you know, I've got this huge puddle of paint I'm not going to use. But you know what? The intense orangeness of the skin tone of this character honestly just adds to to the creepiness, so, you know, not that mad about it. When it came to painting on cotton fabric, I didn't really care if I went all the way to the edge as if it were a painting, and I thought it would be really fun to leave a textured edge. So I left a painted looking edge to it, filled it in, painted this creepy face on, the minimum details that I needed, some blushed cheeks, a rosy nose, details that I knew I couldn't get with embroidery, things like gradients I wanted to make with the paints. Once I was happy with our face, it was time to move on to our second painting. Let's go on to our character. For this one, I started off with the vines or the plant around the character because I wanted to make sure that I got that in so that we had enough room for it before we painted in our character. This little vine circular thing is something that I do often, and I think it's just something very easy to do with paint, so I knew it was something I wanted to do, not with sewn details. I added poofy little plants because I just love that texture with paint. I did intend to embroider some flowers in, but I completely forgot. But that's okay. I think just this minimal floral look works just fine. Painting on the character was just as easy as the first. I was honestly surprised at how easy it was to paint on fabric, though I will say it did definitely absorb the moisture very quickly and easily, so it was a little hard spreading the paint, but it still wasn't impossible. I think my biggest tip with working with any paint project is it's better to mix too much of a color than to mix too little of a color. You don't want to have to try to remix the same exact color because honestly it's probably not going to turn out. I know wasting paint isn't something I want to do, but oof, having to remix a color, not fun. Thankfully I had just enough for this character. And then we moved on to our horse character. I changed the pose a little bit on our horse because I just felt like the space wasn't being taken advantage of. There was a lot of blank area in the upper area. So I have our horse turning over, really pushing and exaggerating those shapes. That is a very thick neck. We have a luscious booty, and just overall, I think the shapes of this horse character are really fun. The interesting exaggerated shapes of this poor horse's body combined with this really awkward pose of it turned around and looking the other way just really adds to the cursedness of this horse, and I absolutely love it. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know that I've ever seen a completely shaved or bald horse. Skin-covered, hairless horse. Once all three of our paintings were complete, it was time to start sewing on the details, and I was super excited for this part. As anxious as I was to sew on those long, luscious lashes, I wanted to start off with other details like the furry little eyebrows, which was so much fun to make textured, not completely fill in. And overall, just the sewn aspect of the eyebrows on top of paint really made it look like hair, so this was already a very good start to this looking quite cursed. Each individual thread just made it look more and more hairy, and I even made a unibrow because it just looks so hairy, I had to do it. I added a little beauty mark or a mole, and then I started stitching on all of those lovely little lashes, as tempting again as it was to make long lashes flow on top of the eye down. I thought I would make the focus of this piece the bottom eyelashes. Again, I did think about adding stray hairs here and there, maybe on the chin, coming out of the mole, here and there on the face, but I really wanted those long lashes to be the focus, and I didn't want to take away from that. And oh boy, were those long lashes cursed. They're hysterical, they're weird, they're creepy, they're funny, and this, I don't even know how to describe it. Just look at it. It's amazing. I love it. Moving on to our full body character, this is when I realized literally all of my threaded details were literally just hair. But you know what? I think they work. They're a lot of fun, and I definitely want to do this again. So adding the bangs to our character first, I wanted to make sure that her head looked like it had a little bit more hair than just a big braid I was going to add later. Adding each individual stroke and then cutting it down like bangs on someone's actual head. This just looked so cute. It really transformed this character to this kind of creepy looking bald character to an adorable character with bangs. Originally going into this, I did did want her to have one color of hair, but I realized I actually didn't have that much thread, so I had to get different colors. And again, happy accident, just added so much more cuteness. The bangs are two-toned, and each lock of the braid is a different color, which just makes this so much more colorful, so much more cute, and you can really see that the hair is braided. Once I positioned it around her body, I just took a single piece of thread and held certain points down so that it stayed in place, and that was that for our girl character. And look how cute this braid is. She is so stinking adorable. Last but not least, we do have our bald horse. Let's give that bald horse some hair. And honestly, again, it's hair themed, but something about just giving these flat illustrations 3D hair is just so much fun. It just adds so much personality to these. I mean, look how flowy that hair is. This horse went from a weirdly bald creature to a very majestic and beautiful horse. Though I will admit, my Twitch chat said that the hair looked like spaghetti or ramen noodles, which honestly, if we're making cursed art, it just makes it that much more hysterical. Once I added some flower details here and there with the embroidery, which I also did think about adding some green embroidered grass pieces here and there just to add a little bit of texture to the grass, but I don't think it needed it. I just think this horse just turned out so adorable. I absolutely love these pieces, and they turned out way better than I could have imagined, even if it does look like ramen noodle hair. Once again, a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Skillshare, for, you know, sponsoring this video, encouraging me to step outside of my comfort zone and try new and cursed things. If you want your free trial of Skillshare, check out the link in the description. And thank you guys so much for watching this cursed video. I'll see you in the next one. Stay golden. Bye.